No, I'm not sick.
Okay, yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
find it?
yeah, there's he put something on the community. I guess it would be Sunday. He put it on Sunday saying that's for week five. I'm so confused because like community are we week five and then island are week four, so I'm just kind of confused. But anyways, it says a presentation one's due. Present to your team. Present your team application idea to your instructor for approval, due by Thursday.
Hmm. Well, shoot. Yeah, I'd feel horrible about, doing it just the three of us.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I know he wants everyone to be present on for that, so we have to probably set up another. I'm sure we're gonna might have to set up another time to for everyone to meet.
Yeah.
Well, the proposal is just us proposing the one that we planned on, and I thought we decided on doing the one of the card, like the note
The
card ones.
flashcards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought too.
So I kind of got the impression that we didn't need to come up with it. We didn't necessarily need to have a new video of it. It was more
like
um,
a proposal, like a paper type thing.
I don't know. I mean, like it could be as easy as us just resubmitting the previous video of the one that we
Um,
that I wasn't entirely sure of.
because now I'm not sure because it says you so he did also another post on the community. It says your team presentation. Um, it says here's some guidelines. These presentations will be created by your team and you. They must be made available to your instructor to assess. You will need to submit the following through Google Plus team presentation form before the presentation deadline. A link to record a proposal of your group's project. Each team member should fulfill each point of the rubric during the presentation. The presentation should be 25 minutes or less. See the account setup page for more information on the recording of your presentation. Links to any supporting documents in your GitHub repository, including diagrams. A project schedule for teaching your topics and for completing your team application. And a link to record a proposal of one or more personal projects fulfilling each point of the presentation rubric.
Hmm.
Huh.
Hmm.
Yep, I have no idea. What's the date on that post?
May 15th,
Cool, thanks.
but there's supposed to be a rubric, and I don't see a rubric, so I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
This is the problem whenever a class is built around not using iLearn or something like this.
Yeah.
It gets confusing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on because all my other classes are in iLearn. Plus, I'm juggling an iLearn 3.0 class right now.
Oh, that sucks.
Okay.
I'm used to it now, but this is my first semester with it. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
I had people that said, "Oh, it's because you don't like change," and I was like, "I don't mind change when it's change for the better."
Yeah.
Mm.
So these presentations will be created by your team and you. So like we have to do a team one and an individual one, right?
I'm thinking that originally this class was made up of teams of two,
Yeah.
so that's why it says that.
Because I tried taking this class on campus before I moved to California, but I
Yeah.
didn't fit in my schedule, and so I was at the beginning of the semester. I was in a group of just 3 people, and
That
so
would be a lot easier to, accommodate the schedule of 3 people
yeah,
instead of trying to make it so 8 people can all meet at the same time. That's tough.
But I guess this is more authentic to um, like a work team. You're more likely to have a work team of more than four, I guess.
Yeah.
But you also will probably all work at the same spot, so you all have the same hours.
Oh, this is what he was talking about, the schedule. Okay. So I guess part of the project proposal is a project schedule for teaching your topics and for completing your team application.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I guess that's what it. Okay, man.
I hope
Well,
we have a smart guy in our group who can get us rolling.
yeah. I
Because
don't
I don't
mind.
know Java very
I don't
well.
mind meeting again if we need to meet again to do the presentation. Um, that's fine. I just, yeah, it's just kind of confusing what needs to be done just because it says presentation should be 25 minutes or less. See the accounts that I page for more information on core presentation.
He almost made it sound like at the when we were meeting with him that we didn't even have to videotape our group meetings.
Yeah, well, yeah, I've gone through I've been going through the recordings that someone put on our community. I haven't finished it completely, but yeah, I I would assume that even just like a just typing it out with because you need
Yeah,
links supporting documents on GitHub. Like I don't.
Yeah.
he made it a lot more clear when he was telling us, but that doesn't mean that I remember how clear he made it.
Yeah.
Well, since this is my idea that we decided on the flashcards, I mean, I could make a second pitch and go into a little more detail.
Well, I think what we really need to do is um, what we could do right now is discuss what are some of the things that we would want to do with the note cards kind of thing, and
All
then we
right.
could just send our ideas in a document to the other group that's going to meet later today, and then we could even just meet just via chat or something later on to make sure that we're all on the same page, and then we could come up with a pitch from there.
Okay.
That's a very good
I
idea.
don't
I
know.
like it. Plus, this is being recorded, so we can give them timestamps on what to watch where we're talking
Yeah,
about.
Okay.
because there was a couple people in the group that came up with similar ideas. So I'm thinking that in the end we're going to want to kind of combine everybody's, or not everybody's, but some of the ideas from different people's project ideas into one in order to get something that is going to be the best fit for the group, I guess.
That makes sense. So I'm going to pull our community up. If you guys can see my screen, and I'll start a Google document, I think. Even though I'm horrible at doing Google documents, let's see, which one's us?
I don't even think Google is good at Google documents.
I get super confused trying to set up Google documents. Let's see. Can I set
To be
it
honest,
up
it's
to
the
the
same.
community?
I think the problem is that it's the same problem I have with all of the open source Word and stuff like that. Is that they're trying to make it as close to Word as possible, but it's going to be different no matter what. So you're still trying to use it like Word, but it doesn't work like Word.
Yeah.
I
know there's a way to set up. Yeah. Let's see. Team meeting minutes. Yeah. How did they make it so the Google document was attached to the About This Community section?
Oh, I think they shared a link.
Oh, to About This Community?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, if one of you knows how to do this, it might take me a minute to figure it out. I might be able to do it faster, but I'm fine with trying to figure it out too.
I can guess, and I'm usually pretty good at guessing, but that's about it. So you're doing a good job too.
All right. I'll click on New. That might do something. Google
Google that.
Docs, sure.
So I guess to start off with, we want to do note cards.
And while I have you guys here, I'm going to make sure I can post it to the community so you guys can like get in and everyone can mess with it. So let's do.
Yeah, you hit share over here.
Oh, there you go. Smart.
I don't know how smart it was. I moved my mouse to where you should click, like you can see my mouse. And then right here, you're just saying who can edit it, and
Anyone with the link can edit.
yeah.
There we go. Then I'll just throw it in the.
Yeah.
All right.
There's man. There you
Uh,
Is there
yeah,
about
this
this
will work.
community?
No, probably not, but this is good enough.
All right. Google was supposed to copy the copy link. There it goes. Good job, Google. Let's see.
Hit share.
Oh, sorry, I don't know how to spell.
No worries. Google does.
go. So that's why I did CIT so that I can just
Yeah.
spell check.
This ain't English. As soon as you post it, I'll see if I can edit it.
Cool.
Okay, there it is.
Cool, you guys are in. At least someone's
Okay.
in.
Yeah.
I I changed something in oh, there. Looks like we're in, and we can do this. We can um, we should be able to have whoever created um, the community, they should be able to um, put a thumbtack in it and have it so it stays up at the top.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't think any of us can do that because we're not admins on the community.
Yeah, that makes sense. I made a use case diagram for this. I don't know how helpful it will be. You see, I feel like my
Oh,
personal opinion with use case diagrams is that they're all, I don't know. I
they're old
feel
school.
like everyone does them differently, so it would be hard for like a group because everyone does them differently.
Yeah. Because eventually we're all going to need to do a use case diagram for the project, right? Kind
Yeah,
of maybe put them all together and then see which one best represents our project.
yeah.
So you can just add yours for the time being, since you're the only one that's actually has actually and then we can always update it. However,
I'm gonna see what happens if I just copy and paste. Oh, darn it. Didn't think it would. It was worth a try.
You can just take a
I'll have to
like
screenshot
snipping
it.
tool. Obviously, you say use the snipping tool, but that looks better.
Cool.
Well, basically, what the diagram is there to do is to help you understand how um, translate from the user. Um, you know, that's basically what it is. It's like programming code isn't going to help you visualize how the program is going to work, and that's what the diagram is all about. So, as long as the diagram helps make it clear how the program's supposed to work, then you created it right.
Yeah, this is I'm just typing out kind of my general idea.
Ah, good. It was just
If
funny watching the word type across the screen.
Does that kind of make sense to you guys?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Hmm.
And because, I mean, obviously we're going to have to implement some more to it just so it meets all the different things, all the different topics
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
iLearn.
Hmm.
But I can't see why the professor wouldn't be cool with us just kind of implementing those as we understand those topics. Because right now I don't feel like I
Yeah.
know enough about those topics to know what would work with those topics, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I'm on the
I,
same. I agree.
All right.
well, it's like um, any any idea um, is going to change. Now, um, one of my teachers pointed out that in the real world, sometimes when you're coming up with an app, you'll actually create a JUnit test for the app before you even started creating it,
That makes
because
sense.
it'll be a JUnit test that is supposed to help see if the program actually does what the consumer wants it to do.
Hmm.
It's a lot easier to come up with design the JUnit test first and then design a program around it, is the way he put it. Because that way you can continually test the program as you go along.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Hmm.
And maybe for like URL connection, I mean, I don't know much about it. I haven't done that teaching topic yet, but maybe we could have like a link in there that takes you to a study tips website or something, if that's even what URL connection is.
So
I don't know.
what I was getting at is that we may want to um, work on deciding what we want the program to do, and then work together on coming up with some sort of JUnit test or something that helps us stay in line. But we can always remember that we can change up the program to fit um, the class requirements. It doesn't have to be. It's more important that it fits the class requirements than it does what we want it, or does what we originally wanted it to do, I guess.
I agree 100%.
Hmm.
Because, I mean, the purpose of making this app isn't for us to make this app, it's for us to learn the course requirements. So I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a project in um, one of my classes in Java, and the other student got so fixated on actually doing the project that he um, didn't. When I was like, well, we should change it so that it fits this requirement. He he's like, no, this isn't. That's not what I had in mind. Doesn't matter what you had in mind.
Yeah,
Clearly, it's not. Clearly not what the teacher wants.
yeah. And that's another struggle with this initial pitch is I don't understand the topics enough to know what sort of application would work. So this just seems something that, I mean, if I was doing like
The key
PHP and web development, I could make something like this, but I don't know Java well
seems
enough.
very flexible.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I didn't create anything like it in Java before, but I created the parts, I guess you could say,
So I know that with like
that
web development,
could be put together.
you can do like a database, and that would probably be the easiest way to do like the user inputting questions and answers. Does Is it that simple in Java? Does Java have some sort of database package that you can?
Yeah, I think with Java, as far as I know, you would be able to do that using Hibernate. As far as my
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Hibernate is that's how you that's how the user is going to be able to create for our project. That's how the user is going to be able to create the flashcards and store them in the database with the answers. So,
Well, awesome.
Java, because of Java FX, and stuff like that, I would say basically anything that you could do with the for a website, you could do with Java.
Sweet. I will have to
Because
research
the
that some more.
because the Java FX actually, I think if I remember right, let you use CSS. So I don't know. My last semester, my teacher showed us how to make a bouncing ball in Java FX. So
Sweet. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I spent a good 45 minutes the other day trying to make it so Java would just compile and open up a window, and I couldn't figure it out.
have you tried going to Java 2? I think that's what it is. Java 2. Java 2. Yeah, just java2.com.
I
They
haven't.
have some pretty, they have some pretty good um, tutorials and stuff like that on. Um, I really like their tutorials. Yeah, java2s.com.
2s.com.
Yeah, they
Sweet.
have a lot of good stuff on there. There's a I usually just look up Java tutorials. Oh man, that's the best way to learn any programming language I've found is just looking up tutorials on that language.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I hate um, like database languages and stuff like that because they're just so complicated and nobody has like good tutorials on them.
Yeah. Have you done
And
CIT 325?
yeah, I hated that class.
The PL SQL database language? That was a hard one.
yeah.
Well,
I
at
liked it
least
a
it's
lot more than
easier than
225, though, that's for sure.
oh, I'm taking it right
225 was.
now.
You are?
I'm taking
Hands
the
down.
325 right now
Oh, you're taking
online.
325 right now. Hands down,
Yeah, online.
225, that was the hardest class I've ever taken.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah, I don't know
That
how
was
I had.
brutal.
I actually got to the point where I gave up on the class because I got to the end of the semester and I had enough,
Yeah,
and I gave up, and somehow I ended up with a C. And I was like,
nice.
okay, I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah. My score in iLearn actually said that I had a C minus. I was barely squeezing by with like 71% at the end of the semester, and I was partying and everything. Like, yeah, I got a C minus. I passed. And then my what's that? My transcript ended up giving. I said a B, and I was like, all right, whatever.
Well,
Yeah, I took it online, and the
Me too.
teacher was great. Like, cause he's using McLaughlin's course, cause everybody's using McLaughlin's course,
Yeah,
but he was a lot. He realized it was um, to put it, politely, a really horrible course.
yeah. That was a brutal class. Whew, I'm glad that's over with. Yep, this semester, this is kind of the class that's scaring me just because I don't know Java and there's no textbook, so I kind of feel like I have no direction.
Like
But
I said, tutorials online.
yeah, I'll have to check those out.
because that's that's where I learned most of the Java I know.
Sweet.
It's not a bad language once you get the basics. Um, I really like the fact that it I don't know, it's a lot less complicated than some of the other languages out there, but yet it's more complicated. It's hard to go
Well,
from working with websites though to working with Java because it doesn't behave the same,
yeah, scripting
but
is easy. It seems easier at
you can
least.
do a lot more with object-oriented coding than you can with a lot of the other.
Yeah, that's true. You definitely can't make an operating system with PHP.
You know.
And if you can, I definitely don't know about it. But anyway, yeah, I guess I don't see what else we could do right now other than like let the other guys know what's going on in the community chat or the Hangout chat with everybody.
Yeah, I think this would
And
be good. Yeah.
I have a question for you guys before. So these sharing videos, are those weekly?
Great question. I don't know. Um,
Because
it looks like they look. It looks like they're not. Because we don't have one. I think they're every other week.
oh,
We
okay,
have another one. We don't. I don't think we have to do one this week. But then next week we do.
okay, that makes sense.
I, I, I think.
Yeah, I'll keep my eyes open for them, but I just hadn't even heard of them until last week, and I was like, oh shoot, I got to do this.
Yeah.
So what I did is I just used my teaching presentation from last week because we ended up not teaching. I just did that and recorded it. But if you guys want to do the teaching presentations today, we can do that.
Doesn't matter to me. I'm
Yeah.
totally fine not.
All right. Yeah, I already recorded mine for my sharing video last week, so.
I don't mind. I have I just have a little bit of. I'm still trying to get my code to, not my code. My code's fine. I think it's just I'm trying to get Eclipse to run my actual program. So um, I don't know. I can kind of maybe just
Wanna You want to pull it up on your screen and we could take a look
yeah.
at it? Maybe get
Yeah, if you're doing
you.
a coding topic, I would love to see it because I need to catch up on that kind of
So
stuff.
yeah, let us look at it. We can maybe see what the problem is.
That's,
I mean, that's what these groups are here for,
yeah.
right? So this is what it's really for. It's not.
So let's see. So I actually, so I'm doing for this week, or I guess for last week, um, I was assigned to do JUnit testing. So
Oh,
I get what JUnit testing is. It pretty much is just making a test to make sure your code works.
yeah.
And you were saying originally that it's a good idea to create a JUnit test for your program. That way, as you're creating your program, you have something to test what you're doing. And if it's not working, then you know that you have to fix it before you go on, obviously. And so I took this loan right here. This loan code
Um,
is something I just did.
I
I
realized
did.
I was looking at the wrong screen.
What's
I was
that?
like, nothing. I was looking at a different screen, so I was like, I don't see what you're
Oh,
talking about.
sorry. Yeah. So like this code that I did. This is code that I did in 260. Um, and this is just a loan calculator pretty much. And then this is the actual JUnit test. So these imports are obviously library functions that you need to use when you're doing a JUnit test. And
Yep.
um, and then there's things like setup, which are setup and tear down are called fixtures. So they're fixed states of objects. So these will uh, so the setup will run before the test starts. So this is just it tells you that it's starting in these two. It'll run it and then it'll print out starting. This one will say starting all test, and this one will start once it's starting a specific like the first test. If that makes sense. And then these two are here are the actual tests. So this will where you need to enter, you know, the annual interest rate, which is 2.5, the number of years of the loan, and the actual total loan amount. These will actually be put into the program. So right here, I just put it on NetBeans as well. So this is the actual loan. I was trying to get it to work for NetBeans. Well, I was actually trying to get it to work for Eclipse, but I couldn't get it to work, so I was trying to do NetBeans. But anyways, and then these are what should be the answer, or what should it should give out. And so when I run it, it'll run, and it will say passed. So it tells you starting all test, starting the specific test. Then it finished the test, and it'll tell you when it started the test, and it finished, and then it finished all tests. Now if I change the number of years to 3, obviously that should be wrong. It won't actually say it passed because the actual amount. I'm pretty sure there's a different way to do this, but this is just kind of how I'm learning right now. So hopefully, I'm sure I'll learn that this is probably a dumb way to do test, but it shouldn't work because
Yeah.
they're not the right. It doesn't equal. If you put in 2.5 for the interest rate and then 3 years, it won't. That doesn't it's not the correct amount for a monthly payment and for the total payment that you're going to have to eventually pay off. So
yeah. Look, one thing is that one of my teachers pointed out that it's a good idea to have at the end of each test you should label them which tests they are so that you know which test failed and which test passed.
Mm-hmm.
That way it's easier to find the bug.
Okay.
I mean, not that this one matters because you just tested it, but it helps it so that you know which part of the because the different tests should be testing different parts of the program, like maybe the high end of I guess input variables, and then the low input and other things like that. And so then you're needing to know where the error in the code was. Was it that it couldn't handle such a large variable?
Okay.
I don't know. That was just something to think about.
That makes sense. I wrote a note about that, and I will actually do that. Work on my code so that I can do that on.
Other than that, I mean, it looks good. I think you seem to have learned a lot about it and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's still kind of fresh, so hopefully it'll stick a little. So Yeah, and then I have other. I found these ones online that I was gonna try out and see. These are actually this is the actual code, and this is gonna be the actual test for it. But that I haven't looked at just yet completely. So yeah, that's kind of what I have so far with the unit testing.
Looks
Thank
good.
you. Logan, if you don't mind me asking, by labeling each test to kind of identify which one, do you mean like could you like put a system out print line in there just like saying what test it is and it would show you
See where
in
it
the
says
test?
at test?
Yeah.
You should be able to put at test 1, at test 2.
Oh, okay, and label them that way. That makes sense.
And then when it,
So kind of like right here.
at least in, yeah, at least in Eclipse, when you run the test, it should say test 1 pass, test 2 pass. Because right now, since they're all labeled tests, I think it's counting them all as one test. I could be wrong. I am a little rusty on it. I, but I do know that you can even, I mean, if you really want to get into it, you can go in and deal with the exceptions and have it be like what exception was triggered by it failing and stuff like that. But that's a little more into it.
Okay.
There's a lot you can do with it. I don't remember. I just remember some of it,
Yeah.
and that was something I remember. I'm not entirely sure what it is that I remember about it, other than I remember running tests and having more than one test, and I think that's what it was. And
So Albert,
um,
this that you're using here, is this Eclipse that you're using?
So the one on the right is Eclipse, and the other one on the left is NetBeans.
Okay.
So
Do you have a preference one to the other?
um, I've only used Eclipse to do Java for my Java class, and I use
Okay.
NetBeans for my website that I'm doing for. I've been work when done like PHP and stuff like that, and I'm also using it for my 261 course that I'm taking. Um,
Okay.
but the reason why I have it up right now is because I was trying to run my actual loan file code, but it wasn't running, so I was trying to see if I can get it to run on NetBeans.
Okay. That
But
makes sense.
that's
Thanks.
yeah.
see, I like Eclipse better overall, but I think that's more because my last teacher, that was a Java teacher, he loved Eclipse, and so it's one of those things when you have a teacher that you actually feel like you learned something, you end up loving whatever program they love
Mm,
because that's the way they explained it, and it made a lot more sense that way.
yeah, it's harder, and it's also harder to like pick up another IDE
Yeah.
and try to get it to work the way that the one you've been taught to use works. So
I mean, they're both great. They're both free, so
yeah.
that's
Yeah. Any more questions?
No, I think you did a really good job.
Thank you.
yeah.
Hopefully, I can learn more of how to do it better. Especially with the other coding topics that are very. This one I've actually used a little bit of it when in cit260, I think it was. Yeah, cit260. But other things like I haven't used yet, so I'm not exactly sure how that's going to go. But yeah,
So I know it's only three of us here, but do you know if the group's planning on shooting for the same time next week?
I
Because I thought this
assumed
was
that the
kind of
only
the,
problem was
yeah, I
that
assume.
one of us couldn't meet. but I kind of got the impression that it was just um, a standing appointment
Yeah,
for
that's.
one thing.
I thought this was kind of a weekly thing.
Yeah.
So
So
I
cool.
figure just plan on it, and if
Yeah,
we need to move it, we need to move it. It's
yeah. We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
not like we're in high school.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah. If there's nothing else, I'm gonna stop the recording. You guys have anything?
sounds good.
No, I have nothing
No,
else.